Southern California Edison admitted today its equipment likely started the Hearst wildfire. That one burned a little more than a square mile and did not cause any deaths or destroy any homes.
It broke out the same day as the much larger Palisades and Eaton wildfires. The cause of those fires, blamed for 29 deaths, has not been determined.
They are 100% contained now, but as Jonathan Vigliotti reports, the cleanup brings new dangers.
More than 9,000 homes and businesses were burned to the ground in Altadena. The Environmental Protection Agency invited us to join a team sifting through the ash, searching for toxic debris. Harry Allen is the federal on-site coordinator with the EPA.
What specific materials are you looking for here?
We look for any uncombusted paints or any household chemicals, pesticides. We look for batteries, especially in electric vehicles, and other kinds of hazards like unburned munitions we may even remove.
The EPA also monitors each property for asbestos and arsenic.
This is painstaking work as teams respond to what is the costliest natural disaster in U.S. history. And now crews facing mounting public pressure to work faster than ever before.
This executive order from President Trump calls for the EPA to expedite the bulk removal of contaminated and general debris. The deadline for such a large-scale disaster is unprecedented. Consider that in Lahaina, the EPA took more than 4 months to clear hazardous materials from 1,400 homes. In Southern California, the EPA faces clearing nearly 10 times that amount in just 30 days.
Do you feel the pressure in general to expedite this process?
Yes, of course. It's a lot more to coordinate, and we have to move much more quickly than we had in other situations because of the various pressures.
It's not just to move this toxic debris out, it's finding a place for it to go. Last week, the waste began arriving here to be stored and processed. It's a park 15 miles from the Altadena fire zone. The site is surrounded by 4 cities. City leaders and residents say no one notified them first. We attended a packed town meeting where community leaders demanded to know from the EPA's Tara Fitzgerald whether one disaster could unleash another.
I think that speed that you're being asked to work at it's risky.
We are not allowing the materials to seep into the earth, which is how we do know that.
This has everything to do with the mission task and the strict timeline that EPA must adhere to, which is cleanup in 30 days' time.
Jonathan Vigliotti joins us now from Southern Oregon, where he's on another story. But Jonathan, on this California story, what are your sources at the EPA saying about this rush?
Yeah, John, I spoke with one EPA official on the ground. She described this cleanup as, and this is her words, bananas. I spoke with another former EPA official who also said it may be nearly impossible to meet this deadline, describing it as one ultimately about optics. We were specifically talking about the summer 2028 Olympics. There is concern that corners could be cut in an effort to prepare the city in time for the event.
And then, Jonathan, what about the concerns about rebuilding perhaps too quickly?
Yeah, Maurice, and that's a story that we're following very closely because in the aftermath of these disasters, you had the governor and local officials coming out lifting critical fire code regulations for a swift rebuild. That includes allowing homes to rebuild in the same exact footprint, using the same materials as before. There's been very little mention about burying power lines underground and using fire-resistant materials for the rebuild. I actually spoke with a fire expert here in Oregon who says there is an opportunity here if you have a plan to build back smarter and safer. He warns that in not doing so, history could repeat itself again.